Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Markus and today we're doing something what we haven't done on this channel before. We are comparing HDR directly with SDR, and what you can see here right now is the Callisto protocol on the PlayStation 5, and unfortunately this game suffers a lot from HDR black level rays. In terms of HDR, this could be easily one of my best or one of my favorite HDR games if there wouldn't be this HDR black level rays. And when we now compare SDR with HDR, and no worries at all, we will have a couple of side-by-side comparisons in a second, but the first thing what you will notice is the better contrast in SDR. Unfortunately, of course, the specular highlights are not specular in SDR because it's just limited to 200 nits, which is the maximum for SDR content. Compared to HDR, of course, there's a lot of peak brightness missing, but in terms of black levels, it's just much better. But now let's start and let's compare HDR with SDR, and the first thing what you should notice is the much better contrast in SDR. There is no elevated black level at all. This is just amazing actually if you play this game in SDR, and I would just hope that at some point we can have a fix that HDR is on the same level in terms of the black levels as SDR. And also what I noticed, there is a little bit difference in terms of colors when we're talking about the trailer or the cutscenes here in the very beginning. When you have the surveillance cameras, it is very bluish in HDR and absolutely grayish in SDR, but I confirmed and I verified this is really the case. It's not just my recording. But again, what you can see here, and again we have very nice side-by-side comparisons. Now you have SDR on the top and HDR on the bottom. You can clearly see the elevated black levels in HDR. And I think here it is right now very obvious that we have HDR black level rays when you play this game in HDR, unfortunately, because again, you will see it a little bit later in terms of specular highlights. The HDR version is so much better than SDR. And when I'm talking about much better specular highlights in HDR, then I'm talking about this right now here. Have a look how bright the star or the light is actually on the planet or behind the planet compared to SDR. And again, the black level rays is just ruining the whole picture right now.
Last run, Max. I'm done talking about it.
Then what do you want me to say?
How about thank you? Because after this job, we're never gonna have to work another day in our lives.
Well, I guess you got it all figured out.
I guess so.
Come on, man, what is this? Huh? Back and forth, Callisto to Europa, all this additional security.
It's a prison moon, Max. They take their security pretty serious.
And what about the attacks? How do you explain that?
And here one more time, great specular highlights, but the black level rays is just ruining the whole picture in HDR.
Cargo hold.
It's probably nothing.
Well, it's still worth checking out.
You shouldn't worry so much, you know? You live longer.
Okay, so let's take a closer look on some other examples here from the game, and in this one we have very bright lights actually combined with very dark areas, or with great contrast, at least when we're looking at the SDR version, because again HDR is missing contrast in my opinion, unfortunately, which is a shame because the specular highlights here at this very moment are just awesome in my opinion. Please fix HDR in this game. Okay, my friends, so that's it from my side with this very short video, but believe me, it took me ages actually to edit, to record, and yeah, to upload the video, because YouTube is just taking forever to process HDR videos. So please do me a big favor, like, share and subscribe, and I see you in my next video.